Alright, how we doing? Let's just get right into it. I'm doing a Magic Arcanist, Stamina Arcanist. Pure Arcanist, no subclassing. And yeah, it's built tanky, it does a ton of damage, has a lot of sustained pressure, ton of healing. Really, really good. Let's see it. Alright, so make sure you like, comment, subscribe for more content. So on the front bar, on the front bar we have 18,700 max magic. We have 41,300 max health, almost 23,000 max stam. We have 636 mag recovery, 1,400 stam recovery, 2,200 health recovery, which is whatever in PvP nowadays. We have 4,800 spell damage before we get any other buffs. We have 8,000 penetration before our major breach, and then we have 20k of resistance before we were buffed. We have 35k on the back bar and 32k on the front bar, which is absurd. On the back bar we have a lot more recovery, as you can see. We are using the Serpent Mundus Stone. We are using Bewitched Sugar Skulls, and we are a Orc. Orc is pretty good for what I'm trying to do. Alright, so let's just keep on moving ahead here. So on the front bar, we are using Master's Dual Wield. I have Nirnhone and I have Sharpened. You can use whatever you want. If you don't want to use this, you can go Charged, and then you can go like Nirnhone or Sharpened, whatever. Totally up to you. So you I actually have the wrong glyph on this. This needs to be a poison glyph, so ignore that. Imagine that's a poison glyph. And then disease is solid. I mean, you could use whatever, but you could also, like I said, go charge if you want to apply more status effects. But what does the Master Dual Wield do? A ton of damage for one. But Twin Slashes deals 1,000 more damage per hit of the initial attack and the bleed. Basically, if you've never run across somebody using Master Dual Wield, then you haven't lived life. It's amazing. You just use Blood Craze or whatever, Rending Slashes, and it does so much damage. Because not only does it add more to the dot, but it just adds more to the initial hit, which makes it like possibility of being a spammable if you want it to be. I really wouldn't use anything else. I mean, this is probably the best option. If you don't want to do stamina, I guess you could go like a Master Staff or something. I don't know, but this is really good on Arcanist. I mean, it's amazing. On the back bar, we are using Daedric Trickery. This set's kind of a throwback, but if you've ever used Daedric Trickery, you'll understand why it's so good. I don't know what it is about it. It's just for some reason, it just feels so solid. I have a Frost Staff. One, I need a way to get magic back if I need it. And two, Frost Staves are great because if you heavy attack, you get a big fat shield, which is really good. And I think you get better shields on Arcanist. So it's really good. And Ice Staff also is very good because it turns your block cost into magic. And because we're a stamina build, that makes a big difference for us. We can save a ton of stamina. So that's really good. Also, we need access to weakness to elements, which is another reason we're using it too. So you have to use the Ice Staff. But if you don't know Daedric Trickery, it gives health, it gives stamina, it gives magic. And then when you deal damage, you gain a random one of 5 buffs. A random buff for 21 seconds. So you can have 2 buffs up a second, or 2 buffs up at once, essentially. Those buffs are Major Expedition, which is 30% movement speed, which is really good. One of them is Major Protection, which is 10% damage mitigation, which is great. One's Major Mending, which is, 16% extra healing. One's Heroism, which is like 3 ult a second. And then Vitality, which is 16% healing received. So no matter what, every single buff you get is essentially, like, amazing. The Mending and Vitality, if you get those together, you're almost unkillable. Now, something to note, which is really nice, Mending also buffs shields, which is really good for Arcanist. They changed that a little bit ago, so that's really good. Being able to get a bigger shield on Arcanist is important. So Daedric Trigger is amazing. I mean, all you have to do when you do your rotations, like when you flip to your back bar, you just light attack, and then you'll proc it. Like, it's pretty simple. You just weave in or light attack and you're good. But it's really good. It's insanely good for tanking. It's insanely good for like survivability. I don't know. It's probably one of, if not my favorite set ever. With the history of ESO. I mean, it's a day one set for sure. I love this set. A lot of times I'll get rid of it and then I'll keep coming back to it because I just like it a lot. So it's just solid. I mean, you can use Rallying Cry or something, or like Wretched Vitality or something. They all offer different things, but I like this, so that's what I use. You should have a Berserker glyph, not a Frost glyph. So really, you should have Berserker on this, and then switch that to the other. Switch this one to the other glyph. But I had wrong traits on too, so I had to switch stuff around. So I just forgot. But Berserker goes there. And then for our Mythic item, we're using Gaze to Sithis. I'm using Gaze to Sithis simply because I don't have that new thing. I forget what it's called, the torque, or it's like a shoulder piece that gives a lot of tankiness. It also gives like major force or minor force or whatever. I just don't have that one, and I'm not buying a $50 DLC just to get a freaking Mythic. So I'm using Sithis, and Sithis does the same job basically. The problem with Sithis, like I mentioned before, this makes your block cost turn into magic. You can't block with Sithis, which is fine. It's not the biggest deal in the world, but the reason I noted the blocking thing is because if you use that shoulder piece that I'm talking about, you can use that instead and block. But Sithis is like still fantastic. The reason Sithis is so good, because it gives friggin' 4,000 armor. I mean, 4,000 armor, where else are you getting 4,000 armor? Like, this Sithis has a 5-piece worth of value. Back in the day, when health recovery was big, if Sithis was around then, it would have been the only thing ever used. If any of you have any history with ESO, you would know that about, 2 or 3 years ago, health recovery was really, really powerful, like Troll King and Eternal Vigor and stuff like that. I missed those days for real, but this was really, really good. So this is good. I mean, that's a lot of health, a lot of armor. It's really good. The reason it's so good, too, is because we're using the Master Dual Wield, and then you use this as your Mythic. This takes up, like, that monster set slot, so you can still use a 5-piece on the body and back bar a 5-piece. So using Gaze with this Sithis frees up a lot of inventory space, gear slots, which is really nice because, like I said, you can access that 5-piece on the back bar and then the 5-piece on the body because you don't have a monster set. So that really is useful for this build. Really, really useful. And then Danger Trickery on the body. And then we're using probably my favorite 1-piece monster set in the whole game, which is Stonekeeper, because you get 500 of every stat. So that just makes a big difference for your max stats. Like, as you can see, my max stats are really good on this build because I have Bewitched Sugar Skulls and I have Stonekeeper, which really help my max stats as well. So it's really good. And then, of course, Danger Trickery gives me 1,000 of everything. If max stats were, I messed it a bit back in the day of Shacklebreaker, but yeah, Stonekeeper's a great 1-piece. You can use whatever you want. Like, you could use a damage piece or whatever. Totally up to you. But I like the max stats. So, apologize, I did yawn. So the next 5-piece that we're using, that'll be slotted at all times, is Shared Pain. Shared Pain's a newer set. I think Shared Pain actually has really, really insane value. A couple things that are good about it. Number one, it's medium armor. Medium armor is nice, and you don't really come by a set with medium armor that's like tanky-ish, tanky-esque. When you 5-piece something that's always on your body, you always want to have a 5-piece that like gives value to offense and defense, and this does. It's a medium armor piece, which is going to give you those beautiful medium armor passives. Also, on top of it, you get 2 lines of stamina, which is really, really good. Then you get a line of magic or weapon and spell damage. And then any time you're dealt damage from an overtime ability, we know in ESO, everything is a dot. So you deal 772 magic damage back to the attacker. Scales on your weapon and spell damage. And you also reduce your damage taken by dots by 8%. Alright, so I mean, typically it ticks for about 400 in PvP, give or take. Like, sometimes it's 420, sometimes it's 380, whatever. But 400 every single time you take damage from a dot. This doesn't mean 400, like some things tick every 1 second or every 2 seconds. No, this ticks every time. So, like, you can get, like, 10 ticks at once if, like, a lot of dots are hitting you. Like, let's say a DK is hitting you with, someone hits you with Rending Slashes on top of Dragon's Breath, on top of, Searing Strike or the Poison Venomous Claw, whatever. All of the Poison Glyph, all of those things, if they all hit you at once, you're dealing 2,800 damage back to them because it's going to hit 4 times in a row. So you're basically returning damage back to them. Is it going to be the same damage they give to you? No, because it's a set, but you're returning the damage they do to you. It's really, really good. On top of it, 8% reduction on dots is a big, big deal in PvP. 8% is a lot. A lot of people's damage these days is from dots. So it's really, really nice to get that mitigation on top of doing damage back to the attacker. This goes really well with the 1 CP thing that gives damage back, or dealing damage back to people that do direct damage to you. It's really good. But this set's pretty good. Like, you don't have to use it, like I said. Like, something you could also use is Dragon's Appetite. Dragon's Appetite is really good because it's just a different view. Like, Dragon's Appetite is going to give you a lot of healing. This is going to give you more damage back to people. So it's good. Like, it's really good. So, yeah. It's good. Share Pain here again. Data Trickery. I have Impen on everything, and that's just because I think it's the best. You can use Reinforce on like the legs and the chest and the shoulder if you want, but whatever. And then down here I have Shared Pain, and Shared Pain. I apologize for the blue ones. I couldn't freaking find a purple one. I tried so hard. Yeah. Ideally you want Bloodthirsty or Infused. I have Infused on 2 and then Stamina on 1, which isn't the worst thing in the world, but yeah, that's my 5 pieces. Skills. I'll try to go faster. So here we have Recuperative Treatise. This is your brutality and sorcery buff. Also, it gives you a ton of stamina. So every single time you land one of these abilities, you're going to get magic and stamina back when it procs. So that's really good. Basically 100, a little bit over, like it's 120 magic and stamina a second, which is good. So 240 recovery. It also just does damage, which is nice. Here you get Rune of Displacement. The nice thing about this rune is that it costs whatever your lowest resource is, so like you're not burning your stamina by using this, which is nice. Also, this is kind of used as my CC at this point because I don't really have a slot for any other hard CC. Like, I don't have room on my bar for the charm. Also, spamming the charm is kind of freaking annoying. So I've been using this as my CC because it's really a pull, which actually on the screen it pops up as a stun. So I haven't tested if that actually takes away their CC immunity or not, but this is my CC at the moment. It's not like a hard CC, but it's still a very, very solid CC, and it pulls a bunch of people together. So like if you drop this Rune of Displacement and then you drop a Tides King Gaze on top, you can do a lot of damage. So yeah, it's just a really good dot. It's just a good skill. Here we're using Quick Cloak. If you don't know much about Quick Cloak, it's fantastic. It's a pretty loaded skill, actually. So it's going to give you major evasion, and if you don't know about major evasion, 20% reduction on damage taken by AoE is a huge buff. A lot of people don't use it in their builds, and it's overlooked, but it's very, very good because it's going to just reduce pretty much 20% damage to everything. Everything is AoE these days, so that makes a big difference. Also, you do damage to people, and on top of it, you get Major Expedition, which is a really good buff to have. So, movement's king. And then here is what you use to proc your Master Dual Wield. Does a lot of damage. Applies Hemorrhaging. It also snares. Here we're using Writhing Rune Blades. The reason for this is we need something to generate crooks, so we're using it. So we don't use Rending as like necessarily our spammable per se, but we use Writhing Rune Blades. Also, it's ranged, which is nice. But also does a lot of damage and gains crit chance as you spam it, and then on top of it, it also is going to generate a Crooks, which is a much needed thing for our big shield on the back bar. Tides King Gauges are all, use whatever you want. You can use Dawnbreaker, but I like this. So here we're using Crux Weaver Armor, which is good because you can get Minor Breach. Also gives you a Crux once every 5 seconds. Here we have Resolving Vigor for a minor resolve and our big fat heal over time. Here we have Spite Ward of the Lucid Mind. So this is the big shield. I actually think this version of the skill is way better. I know the other version of the skill gives a bigger shield to start out. Well, it gives like, I want to say 20-something thousand and then down to 5,000 after 1 second. This one gives almost 16,000 for the whole thing. So you're getting that 16,000 every single time, no matter what. So it's reliable. Also, it deals damage like before. You also get a heal out of it for consuming Crux, which is what I was saying. And then on top of it, something that's going to make you feel like you have unlimited magic is the fact that when you have 3 Crux and you switch your back bar and use it, you refund, 72% of the skill cost. So if you have 3 Crux and you use it, you get 72% of the skill back, right? So you're getting, over 3,000 back, which makes this skill almost free, which is why it's amazing. You get a big fat shield, you get a heal, and then on top of it, you almost get all of it back, which makes you feel so tanky. The other one, when I use that version, I just burn through my magic because it's an expensive skill. But with this, I'm telling you, it is so good. You just spam. All you have to do is have this up, and you just keep your crooks, because this skill does more damage. It does 9% damage and extra crit when you have crooks up. Just hold your crooks. Don't waste them. And then when you need the heal, switch to your backboard and pop the shield, and you get a ton of magic back. You get a free heal. You get a free shield. It's great. Here you're using this as your spammable heal. I only use this when I'm in trouble. So if I'm low, I use it. And the reason for that is because you'll get minor heroism with it, which is also a nice buff to have on top of it. You spam when you're low as well, because it's going to give you a bigger or a lower cost. And yeah, it's just a oh crap button pretty much. This is a flex spot. If you're good at the game and not trash like me, you don't have to use this. You can use something else that is risking it for the biscuit, pretty much is what I mean. Here you have elemental susceptibility. I mean, that's just your breach. You need it. And then here you have Sanctum of the Abyssal Sea, because it's really, really good. It's amazing. Makes you super tanky. So, yeah, that's the build. So here we use Master of Arms, Deadly Aim, Biting Aura, Untainted Aggression. That's just what I'm using. Use what you want. Here we have Bastion, Pain's Refuge, Juggernaut, and Hardened. So, like I said, guys, this is the build. Let me know what you guys think down below. I think it's pretty good, and I'm going to add just a few minutes of some gameplay at the end. But peace out. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.